Okay, for this episode, we are going to talk about what to look for in a co-founder.
First blood relation is always a nice little bonus.
Little sisters. No, this is actually a very common question because people are looking for partners because this shit is hard to do alone.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. So, okay, what would you look for in a co-founder if you didn't, of course, have me?
If I wasn't groomed for years by our mom that we were going to start a business together. I think the first and foremost thing is trust. Like, you absolutely need trust. There's no way around that. We are very lucky that we're related. And I mean, that doesn't always work out too, I guess. But for us, it works. So I think trust is like the number one thing. And I don't just mean like stealing from the business. I mean, trust to get the job done. Trust to like value your time and their time in the same way. Because I think like what can be really challenging is if one person's not pulling their weight and then you feel
frustrating.
Super frustrating. The second part I would say though is like having someone who has the exact opposite as you, and I'm sure that's what you're going to say.
I was going to say like you have to think of this as a marriage and of skills that are going to be married together to make the business work.
You don't want two of the same exact person because that like there's going to be something that you guys both can't do, which is really challenging.
Yeah.
Even though it sounds really nice on paper, you might be aligned on everything, but you know, you need someone to complement you.
Yeah. And you need definitely a complementary skill set and someone who's going to like, if you get paralyzed by something, they're the kind of person that's energized by that same thing. So that way you can fix the problem because there's going to be so many problems.
Speaking of, why don't you tell the analogy that you always tell?
Yeah, I forget how we even got this analogy. I think we made it up one day, but
it's just so natural for us though.
Yeah. So for background, I am more of a planner.
She's also the big sister.
Yeah. I'm like typical older sister, planner, prepared. I'm the one that brings the snacks. Like that's me. And so I've always been a planner. That was even my career previously. Ariel is a creative. She is extremely, you know, like action driven. She does things like on the fly. She's spontaneous. That's never been me in my life. And so the analogy, the way we describe ourselves is if we were, you know, let's say like trying to fly a plane together, I would be like charting the route. I'd be looking at the weather. I'd be making sure like all the screws were tightened. I would be looking at like the engine. I'd make sure everything is perfect for the flight. And Ariel would be up in the air without an engine. So together.
So like she would never take off and I would crash.
I'd sit on the runway and she would just like not, like crash immediately. So together our skills are so complementary because there are moments where you have to just start doing. I think that's like 90% of being an entrepreneur is you just start doing. But you also have to have some foresight and planning for what will go wrong because things will go wrong.
Yeah. And that tension for us has been so crucial. It's been so important to identify those moments where you have to stop, think, plan, but then say fuck it and just kind of go. And I think we do such a good job about both of those, really that push and pull. And it doesn't stop. It's not like, oh, we've launched a project, that planning is done. It's like consistently optimizing. And so there's that push and pull is forever. And it just like, so that's
and it doesn't end there in the personality. Like the other day you were like, I want to do 2025 planning. And I was like, thank fuck, like we can do it. But so you're learning and I'm learning that we can't just like plan everything because then nothing gets done. So you've pushed me to grow in that way and I've pushed you to grow in that way. So I think that's a huge thing, right? Again, the complementary skills, someone who's going to push you in a way that is just going to be better for you, for the business.
Yeah. But regardless, I think the number one thing, definitely have a contract. You need a contract. I mean, we don't have one, but
your mom will keep us in check.
Yeah, I think mom will kill either of us if we screw each other over. But honestly, like just
a good contract with a lawyer.
Contract with a lawyer, just like get
even
it
if they're your best friend, just do it. You don't know.
You really don't know. We've seen again, we've like had some friends who've had some horror stories. So just avoid it. Just like a great contract can kind of get you out of a lot of things, which is really nice.
I think another thing, which sounds like fluffy, but like someone who you genuinely like personality wise, because you're going to be spending so much time together.
I am fantastic to be around, so I do understand. But it's true. You can't be.
There's gonna be late nights. There's gonna be crises. Like,
and also like everything's fine when it's like fair weather. You can't have a fair weather founder. I feel like that's
who do you want to be with when something is so shit? You know. Yeah. It's like when you're going through the worst thing possible, who do you want by your side? And how are they going to react? Are they the kind of person that like panics? Is that okay? Like you have to really think about that.
And you're going to learn so much about them though, because you will hit those extreme highs and those extreme lows. And there's no, like you can't anticipate what people's reactions are. You can think you're going to be a non-crisis person, and I don't even know what I am. I think I do well in crises, and I just kind of go, but like I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what I'm like. I think so like that's a great, like you just don't even know how you're gonna be.
But I think we complement each other in that way, because when you get overwhelmed, I'm like, okay, let's stop and write everything down.
It's
and then when I'm
do.
paralyzed, you're like, okay, this is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like you have to pick the other person up. It's kind of like, honestly, I saw this thing about marriage and how like if you have 70% today, the other person has to make up for the 30%. It's the same thing in a partnership for a company. You have to make up for each other. Yep. You just have to. Yeah. There's no option.
And our baby is our business. Yeah. And so we have to keep that little fucker alive.
And grow it.
Yeah. Even when you're
Make
really
it healthy.
Tired. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how tired you are.
Yeah. Baby's got to eat.
What else? Anything else about picking? If you did today pick.
I don't think I would do it alone.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pick anyone else.
But
honestly.
It's hard because the people we talk to who don't have partners are like, it's so nice that you have a partner. You have someone to talk to.
Yeah, but imagine the counter. Imagine having someone you can't rely on and they have 50% of your baby.
I feel like it would destroy your relationship if you already had one with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I would rather go it alone, but that's also talking about someone who has a successful relationship with their sister and co-founder. I don't know. There's also, like, you have to remove emotion from a lot of this. So
it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard, especially we're humans. So it's relationships. This is, like, very challenging. You can get triggered by something. It is a very difficult thing to navigate, but I think, like, what has always been at least my focus, is this good for the business? Does this make sense for the business? And really keeping our focus on the numbers, because they don't lie. They don't lie. They tell you what you should do, not like what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because what you want to do might be really cute and fuzzy, but like if it's not going to drive revenue, it's not going to increase profit, not going to cut down COGS, don't do it. You know what I mean? So
I also think someone who like I know if you are spending time doing something, it's important. And you believe the same about me. You know what I mean? Like you have to, it goes back to trust, but that's so important because you will have to divide and conquer so much that like you have to know that person, if they've made a decision to do something, you can't micromanage
just
that.
Go,
like it's like, you know, you have to trust that you've made that decision. I trust that you're smart. So you've made that decision for a reason. I might not know all the context, and I just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So that was a lot about trust and founders.
And finding a co-founder.
Which is, again, Godspeed. But I think let's talk about the win of the week for us.
Okay. Let's think.
Because, you know, we just got through for right now it's January 2025, which is very exciting. And we just got through holiday.
We got through holiday.
That's like enough for us to just like pat ourselves on the back.
And we had some great client feedback.
Oh, yeah. We really did.
It's some really nice corporate clients.
We really refocused our attention on clients and client services in 2024, which has paid off so far. So that's been a really big win for us, I think.
Some really nice notes from clients. That's our win.
Yeah. So, you know, and we can't take all, it's not like us. It's like our amazing, fantastic team who is grinding with us and for us, which is, you know, that's like unbelievable. Yeah. So super lucky. That is definitely the win of the week.
Awesome.
Follow along for more roaches.
And if you have questions, we are answering our most popular asked questions as entrepreneurs, but definitely feel free to reach out on Instagram @HappyBox.